Hi TPS families, this is Miss Kristen. I'm back again. I hope that you are enjoying your Saturday and that everyone watching this is well. Today I wanted to talk to you about a gardening best practice called thinning, okay? So a lot of us at least, have planted seeds and they're starting to come up. And we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to assure that those plants do really well and survive. So thinning is something that we do in order to make sure that that can happen. So remember a while back when we were talking about planting seeds, we talked about reading the seed packet and looking to see how much space every single seed would need. So these are zinnias that I planted probably about 2 weeks ago. As you can see, my soil definitely needs to be watered. So these zinnias are spaced pretty far apart, and they were that way when I planted them. But sometimes we plant our seeds way too close together, and it's really easy to tell. And I'll show you what happens when you don't plant them very far apart. So these are my flowers that I planted in the spring. I did not space them at all. And as you can see, they are a maze. They are all on top of each other. And for me, that's been okay, but some of them are even growing sideways to be able to have enough room. And honestly, I think that these bigger flowers that had, less needs than other more delicate ones took over a ton. They're totally encroaching on my kale. There's a beet right here that is trying to come up, and as well as over here, this one is really small. But honestly, this was a very poorly thinned out bed. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna thin our seeds. So here in my garden, I've been growing these just for this video. They are some sunflowers, okay? And some of them are spaced out okay, but some of them are way too close. Now, when I was gonna do this, I would read the seed packet, and then afterwards I would see, after they sprout, how much distance do they need between one another? Now, when you look at these, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. I can see that this little guy over here is way too close, and he also has a brown spot on him already, and I just don't think he's gonna make it. So thinning is when you pull out those sprouts that are just way too close together. Now, you also want to look for the ones that look the most viable. So this one right here isn't as big as the other ones, but he might be okay. But I'm gonna pull out this one because he's got a lot of brown on him and doesn't look that good. Now back here, I've got some other ones too. This is my biggest guy that's been growing, but these ones are probably gonna need to be thinned as well. So I'm gonna pull out this one, okay? And I'm gonna pull out this little tiny one. This is gonna make sure that my garden and all of the little sunflower sprouts that I am growing actually have the best chance at survival. Now, I have a lot more work to do. I've gotta thin those ones out, but I think you guys get the idea. Hi guys, back again. This is my dog Benny. She really wanted to come in the video. So if you're like me, thinning might feel kind of sad, right? And you might be thinking, honestly, I really don't want to pull them out. But remember when you looked at my flower bed and how certain flowers were definitely not growing out of my mix? There was like 10 different types of flowers in that flower mix that were supposed to be growing, and only like 3 types are sprouting up. If you want to make sure that your plants are growing and becoming the best and healthiest versions of what they can be, we have to thin. It's just part of being a gardener. And so you can go ahead and read your seed packet first, see how much space your plants are gonna need, and then do some plucking after they sprout, or some thinning. Now, when you're doing this with kiddos, it's really cool to actually have a social emotional lesson where you talk with them about what are we actually taking out of our own lives that we don't need anymore, right? Thinning is a really great process of making sure that we have space within ourselves to fill up with all of the good things, right? So what do we need? What do we need to get rid of? in order to be the best and the happiest and the most healthy versions of ourselves. So thank you so much, TPS families. I hope that this gardening technique video was helpful today. If you have any questions ever, you can absolutely reach out to Global Gardens or me directly, or comment on the bottom of this video and let us know what you're thinking. Another really quick tip, because I don't want to go without giving it to you, is make sure if you are starting to sprout seeds right now in the dead of summer, that you are absolutely watering twice a day. In the morning, usually, and at night, because those little seed sprouts are gonna need tons and tons of water, okay? So again, let us know what you need. Bye.